At the end of 2015, Klaus Schwab wrote a book about the fourth industrial revolution, how new emerging technology will shape our world. Today we're going to discuss a part of this book, if it has aged like milk or fine wine. And so I would like to pose a question to you for the end of the video. How has technology changed your daily life in the last 5 years? Hello, TechManPat here. Welcome to today's Tech Talk video. Strap in for some deep and meaningful tech chat. Remember, if you like this video, then tap that like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then let me know in the comments below. And if you want to support this channel, then please consider subscribing. So let's answer the question, are we in the fourth industrial revolution yet? First off, let's define what the Industrial Revolution was and is, because we are talking about the fourth one, so there must have been at least 3 beforehand. Now, unless they decided to use the Microsoft Windows numbering sequence, I think we're in luck. The first Industrial Revolution was a simple one, though it took thousands of years to realize, harnessing the power of water and steam, leading to bigger and more powerful manufacturing. Then came the second, introducing electrical power, which sped up the process and created mass production for the masses to consume. And so then the third, using electrics and information technology, we have automated the previous manual manufacturing process to a point where less and less human hands are involved. First-class welders have been replaced by coders who sit there at the keyboards, creating algorithms that guide the plasma arc welder like Michelangelo's hand on canvas. In this case, the thin outer shell of a rocket or electric car. In Schwab's own words, the fourth industrial revolution is building on the third. He said it is characterized by a fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. Unfortunately, the lines are also so blurred as to where the third revolution ends and the fourth starts. Let's see if we can answer this today, also 5 years after the inception of Klaus' theory. In the last 25 years, we have seen a drastic and exponential technological revolution that is hard to pinpoint where we are at. When 10 years ago, a rare article would pop up saying that this new process, product, or company is disrupting the industry. This in turn made the words industry disruptive a grim reaper for many classical businesses. But today you cannot simply scroll through a news website without seeing a new product or company doing something disruptive to the previous norm. However, I would like to add that many of these articles are also spam and marketing campaigns to make you buy something different than an established brand. I believe that the rampant and personalized advertising using big data to sell you everything and anything is a big part of the fourth industrial revolution and actually can be placed on a timeline. Schwab was right in saying that we will continue to see more and more industries being destroyed and replaced by new ones. But it's happening at such a rapid pace today that yesterday's factory worker is today's unemployed percentage. Mundane and repeatable processes have become obsolete, replaced by machines that can do it 10 times faster with 10 times the precision at half the cost, but also with no human life endangerment. Now we have gigafactories that are fully automated. Even the machines within them are continually being replaced by better machines, and the cycle continues. Do you know anyone whose job has been replaced by a machine? Or what job have you witnessed today that didn't exist 20 years ago? Let me know in the comments below. Then we have the power of mobile technology. With billions of people connected by mobile devices, access to knowledge is unlimited and privacy is non-existent. Distribution and consumption of information is now possible at the press of a button. Just look at how our world has changed during the COVID-19 pandemic, with tracing apps now an acceptable application on a mobile device. Sure, many are opposed on privacy grounds and can do so till they are blue in the face, and Facebook already knows more anyway. So what are you going to do? Something that Schwab's didn't anticipate is for a pandemic like COVID-19 to move the workforce from the office to home so quickly. There would have been no other scenario where it could have happened any quicker and in many cases so efficiently. We utilize the technology we have today to do our jobs. This goes to those who can, of course, as there are still jobs out there that require a human to be on site. There are far less of those than there were 20 years ago. We have AI now in every home, think Google Assistant, Siri, Alexa. Then we have the Internet of Things, so ubiquitous, smart bulbs, smart locks, smart plugs, smart TVs, and something no one really asked for, smart fridges. You can now watch your favorite Netflix show on your fridge and open your door with a command. Every aspect of your daily life has been digitized. However, the fourth industrial revolution is not that it's digital or it's electronic, it's because they're all connected to the same network. Another question to keep in mind, when did it all become interconnected? Take a guess. Autonomous vehicles were built 5 years ago. Now, they're on our roads in the thousands. 3D printing took off in 2014, and today for less than 400 Australian dollars, you can buy your own in-home 3D printer. Why would you need to buy a spare part for your Roomba online when you can just print one at home? Imagine the possibilities of never having to order things online. Just print them all at home. Next stop will be food printing. Now, as exciting as all this sounds, there are negatives. We pour our hearts and souls into social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and hundreds more. We create digital content, we share it, and we consume it. Companies pay billions of dollars each year to access all that information, to sell products to those who are more likely to buy based on their tastes, likes, dislikes, and even the last place they visited. You are being followed everywhere you go, and it's not via the Trace app. And instead of giving it an evil name that you could potentially avoid, they call it cookies and make it cute, so you don't question it. Every application or appliance in your home that interconnects with the internet is an extension of you and your marketing profile. This, however, opens many new doors to businesses. They now know what you want, but they need to deliver it to you in a manner that doesn't necessarily look like advertising. People are used to advertising and they know how to avoid it. Think ad block. Schwab says the fourth industrial revolution has the potential to raise global income levels and improve the quality of life for populations around the world. We now have YouTube channels that have a bigger following than TV shows on the old tube. We have online stars who make millions each year for creating content that they love and telling you to buy their merch. You have video game competitions with millions of dollars on the line, streamed all around the world, sponsored by brands from every corner of the globe. The internet runs on advertising. There is no internet without it. But it also means that people can take advantage of all the advertising and monetize a passion or skill, reaching a huge audience with the support of ads on platforms like YouTube and Facebook. Schwab said the new economies will lower the barriers for business and individuals to create wealth, altering the personal and professional environments of workers. Let me know if you have managed to make an online business. I'd love to know what you guys are up to. We have services that never existed 20 years ago and solutions that solve your problems that you didn't even know needed solving. Schwab's also said that sharing or on-demand economy will be the next wave of consumer interest 5 years ago, and after all, we are the I want it now generation, aka the generation that demands instant gratification. How did you get a taxi before Uber existed? When did you call a number, or how did you find that number to try and explain exactly what street you are on when you are half cut and needing Maccas? I used to look like a hooligan and no cab would pick me up. Nowadays I don't look any better, but at least the Ubers never cancel on me. Maybe you haven't made a business online, but you can now sell your old furniture on Gumtree. Within hours somebody would pick it up, cash in hand. Garage sales are a thing of the past, though they have sort of come back in popularity in recent years. Schwab said that in the future, technological innovation will also lead to a supply-side miracle, with long-term gains in efficiency and productivity. Transportation and communication costs will drop, logistical and global supply chains will become more efficient, and the cost of trade will diminish, all of which will open up new markets and drive economic growth. We have certainly hit that milestone today. With access to millions of websites around the world, I can order and get anything delivered to my doorstep with a click of a button. Even now, with COVID-19 disrupting our transportation and logistics service, things still seem to arrive like nobody's business. But on a darker note, let's not forget how these changes can also create inequality amongst us. When your local brick and mortar stores' overheads are so high, usually due to rent, they cannot compete with the price on Amazon for the same item. What happens to your local taxi driver who's now forced to compete with thousands of Uber drivers, available at the touch of a button, when in fact it's not even cheaper, it's just easier to access? Taxi companies have fallen behind. They didn't innovate, they stopped, they didn't care anymore. Schwab writes that this will give rise to a job market increasingly segregated into low skill, low pay, and high skill, high pay segments, which in turn will lead to an increase in social tensions. and I'm sure you're all seeing those tensions rise in the last few years. He said, in addition to being a key economic concern, inequality represents the greatest social concern associated with the fourth industrial revolution. The largest beneficiaries of innovation tend to be providers of intellectual and physical capital, the inventors, shareholders, and investors, which explains the rising gap in wealth between those dependent on capital versus labor. One reason we have not seen a rise in income is technology, but I would like to also add that while income hasn't gone up, the population has risen and there are more people who need work. There's also more people who consume products. So what's the impact on business? Well, we have seen giant motoring companies being forgotten about, not because they make bad products, but because they stopped innovating, just like taxi companies. They stopped innovating a long time ago. The engine and internal supporting mechanisms have had no innovations or change in over 40 years. Nothing noticeable, in fact. Ignoring petrol engines for a moment, many low-end vehicles bought today still don't have proper digital screens and Bluetooth. But the cost of these technologies are so low that there would be no reason why they shouldn't. Remember that a footrest in an automatic car used to be a luxury edition. Sure, high-end cars do, and in the last 5 years they have been filled with technology, but not very good technology. Companies like Tesla have shot past their competitors by innovating on things like water pumps. To a Tesla, technology in your dash is like a footrest, and it comes standard. Petrol and coal companies are becoming the fossils they used to make their products from. In fact, wind and water energy became cheaper than fossil fuels at around 2016 and 2017, depending what region of the world you look at. The biggest sign of being in the fourth industrial revolution is super investment companies having an ethical super fund option too. Schwab said that today, new smaller companies can oust well-established incumbents faster than ever by improving the quality, speed, or price at which value is delivered. And 5 years on, we have certainly seen that. Even Uber has competition, although in order to stand out, you have to have a unique spin on your alternative. The classical companies have started listening to the loud minority. They then pander to the flavor of the month, marketing how inclusive and forward-thinking they are, but all they want is for you to buy their product. Don't get misled. They're trying to play with your heartstrings or moral compass. You don't owe them any loyalty. They don't see you as a friend, and instead you are a cash cow waiting to be milked based on your marketing profile. However, because of all this, consumers have gotten smarter. In fact, many can sniff out bullshit. No, Gillette, I just need a razor, not a lecture on how to raise a child, nor do I believe that Pepsi can stop a revolution, though it might start one if I pay with monopoly money. Instead of making their products better, cheaper, and more valuable, they pander. And what about the government? Well, Schwab's had this to say. As the physical, digital, and biological worlds continue to converge, new technologies and platforms will increasingly enable citizens to engage with government, voice their opinions, coordinate their efforts, and even circumvent the supervision of public authorities. Simultaneously, governments will gain new technological powers to increase their control over populations, based on pervasive surveillance systems and the ability to control digital infrastructure. UK, for example, enjoys a month without coal power for the first time in 138 years, noting that within a few years there will be no coal generation at all. But the UK has 6 million CCTV cameras to control their public. Australia has one of the best examples of how the government uses technology to connect with their citizens. We have one of the most digitized forms of communication between us and each department that many countries would see as black magic. Also, the Australian government handles your health data. On the whole, however, governments will increasingly face pressure to change their current approach to public engagement and policy making, as their central role of conducting policy diminishes owing to a new source of competition and the redistribution and decentralization of power that new technologies make possible. In 2015, the Australian government introduced a mandatory data retention laws that allows data to be retained for up to 2 years. COVID Safe could be seen as a surveillance system, easily overshadowed by the pandemic, or it could be seen as a step after, actually doing something good for a change without some dark motive. With the pandemic, the government had to rethink its approach to public engagement and policy making, or face the wrath of a very sick population. The National Broadband Network. Need I say more? So where does the fourth industrial revolution start? Well, I mentioned earlier that it's not just that everything in your life is digital. It's when those items are all interconnected. When you have one ecosystem of devices doing different activities, but all able to communicate together to achieve a bigger task. potentially sell your data to the marketing folks. Schwab's reiterated that the emergence of global platforms and other new business models means that talent, culture, and organizational forms will have to be rethought. Once you start connecting things together, suddenly it's as good as reading somebody's mind. Once you have enough data and enough computing power to connect the dots, you would think we would stop innovating, but the human mind is much reckless than that, and people change their minds all the time. So, the fourth industrial revolution started when you used your email address to connect to a system that is not your mail server. Well, if you made it this far in the video, then I ask you, what's going to happen in the next 5 years? Let me know in the comments below, make a prediction, let's look back and see if it happened. Friends, thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed this topic. If you liked this video, then please tap that like button, and if you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing, and if there is any other topics you'd like me to do a bit of a deep dive like this, then please put them below, and hopefully I can get to them. Thanks for watching, and bye!